How'd you like my newly appointed wall? Did you notice it?
No, I did not.
I had it
Oh,
re-leveled and everything.
We're on.
Yeah.
Okay, welcome to the Lunenburg public hearing. I'd like to tell you how the hearing will proceed, but first I have to give you a notification, although I'm sure you've heard this. The hearing is being recorded in accordance with the requirements of the open meeting law. Please be advised that this meeting will be broadcast live through local access cable on Facebook Live on the Public Access Facebook page and will be able to be found on the Lunenburg Public Access YouTube channel within 24 hours after the meeting. And with that, I'd like to introduce the board. To my left is Lisa Normanton, the board well, no longer, the retired board secretary who volunteered to help. Jim Bezikowski, Tony Nicastro, and Don Gurney. The way the hearing will proceed is Lisa will read the application and I'm totally lost on this today. The applicant will have the opportunity to comment on the application or submission of the additional documents. You will please come forward to the mic and give your name and address. Board members will have the opportunity to ask questions they might have on the application while you're at the mic. There is no public here, but if there is any public that comes in, there will be a public comment period. And with that, Lisa, would you please read the petition?
This is an application for a special permit. Mass General Law, Chapter 48, Section 9. The project address is 30 Summer Street in Lunenburg, assesses map 115, parcel 9. The applicant is Safe Store Real Estate Company, LLC, 444 Seabreeze Boulevard, Suite 840 in Daytona Beach, Florida, 32118. The owner of the property is Summer Street Autos, LLC, 30 Summer Street in Lunenburg. The project description: the project includes the construction of a 104,700 square foot, 4-story climate-controlled storage facility. The applicable code of the Lunenburg section is 250-4.1K20. The proposed use of the property is going to be a self-storage facility. The existing use of the property is auto sales. Please describe how the proposed action will prevent conditions that are injurious or dangerous to the public health, unduly hazardous because of traffic conditions, danger of fire or explosion. The response: the proposed use involves the construction of a climate-controlled indoor storage facility. Some exterior parking is proposed. However, most of the activity normally associated with self-storage facilities will occur inside the building. The proposed building will be constructed to all required building codes, including fire protection. It is not expected that the proposed use of the property will generate significant traffic or cause any issues with traffic congestion on Summer Street. B, please describe any material adverse effects on the land and buildings in the neighborhood or on the amenities of the neighborhood. The reply: the property is zoned commercial. The proposed project will result in significant investment on the site and is likely to result in a net increase in the value of the property. As such, we expect tax revenues to the town to increase as a result of the project. The proposed use, self-storage facility, will provide climate-controlled storage options for local businesses and residents. Please describe how the proposed use or activity will be operated with reasonable regard for order and sightliness if an open use. The reply: architectural plans are included in the filing. As referenced above, the proposed activity associated with the use will be conducted inside the building and will therefore not be an open use. Please describe how the proposed action will reduce and/or prevent noise, vibration, dust, odor, heat, or glare at the lot lines in amounts clearly detrimental to the normal use of adjacent properties. The response: as mentioned, the proposed use is an indoor climate-controlled facility. As such, we do not anticipate any issues with noise, vibration, dust, odor, heat, or glare at the lot lines. The proposed parking lot will be consolidated to the front of the lot and will be set back further from the property lines as compared to the existing conditions. The additional information relative to the applicable section of the Code of Lunenburg. In addition to this special permit, the project will require: 1, site plan approval from the planning board; 2, a stormwater management permit from the planning board; and 3, an order of conditions from the Conservation Commission. All 3 of these applications are in process of being prepared and submitted. There is additional note memo regarding proposed self-storage facility at 30 Summer Street. Dear Mr. Gingras, on behalf of the applicant, Safe Store Real Estate Company, LLC, Dillison Roy Civil Design Group, Inc., has prepared this letter to provide background and context for the proposed project. The applicant is seeking to construct a climate-controlled self-storage facility at the site. The proposed building is 26,175 square feet in footprint and will have a total of 4 floors. Interior vehicular access will be provided via a door in the front of the building. The property is located within the commercial district and has an excess of the required frontage and area for this district. The proposed building will meet all required dimensional zoning setbacks. It appears that the use will meet the definition of self-storage, section 4.1K20 of the bylaw, and would therefore be allowed by special permit from the Zoning Board of Appeals. We note that section 6.1 does not appear to list parking requirements for the proposed use. The applicant is in the building of developing similar facilities around the country and has indicated that the operational requirement to meet the parking needs is 10 to 12 spaces. We have shown 17 at the proposed site. We intend to provide the required documentation to the planning board during the site plan review process. Finally, the applicant is aware that the site is within the floodplain. The proposed building grades and surrounding grading is being designed to meet the performance standards of the wetland protection provisions for bordering land subject to flooding, which will be reviewed during the notice of intent process with the Conservation Commission. We trust that this meets your needs at this time. If you have any questions or require additional information, do not hesitate to contact me. And that is signed Greg S. Roy, President, Dillison Roy Civil Design Group. Attached is the determination from the building department, which is also already read in the text. There's a building plan, a site plan, a copy of the deed, and a list of abutters in Leominster and Fitchburg that were all notified 2 weeks prior to tonight's meeting. And that's all, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Lisa.
You're welcome.
And I would invite you up, but you're already.
I'm ready. All right, thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Lisa. Ryan Proctor with Dillison Roy. I'm here tonight representing the applicant, Safe Store Real Estate. I just would like to correct and clarify one item from the record real quick. In the legal ad, it does mention that the building is 104,000 square feet. That is the gross floor area of the building. The overall building footprint, like Lisa just read into the memo, is the 26,000 square feet. So the footprint on the plan indicated in the pink rectangle is 26,000 square feet. So I just wanted to clarify that. As was read, the historic use of this site has been a used auto car dealership. So currently, I have a laser pointer, it's a little bit bright. The existing structure on the site is in the back center of the lot, and then the entire property, for the most part, is currently impervious pavement area on the site. So with this project, we are actually proposing a reduction in the amount of impervious area on the property. So we see that as a positive relative to stormwater management. The site will continue to be accessed through the front center of the property. Currently on site, there are 2 stone retaining walls that are arced to provide access to the site. We're proposing to remove those and consolidate the access along Summer Street. So there's currently sidewalk and granite curbing along the entire frontage of the property. We're proposing to tie into that granite curbing and consolidate the single entrance in the center of the site that'll lead into the proposed parking area. As we mentioned in our cover letter, we're proposing 17 parking spaces, all of which will be located in the front of the building. And then there also is an additional larger loading area that if there are larger items or a moving truck or something that a user would need to use, they could use that landing area without occupying one of those parking spaces. For the utilities, we're proposing to utilize the existing available utilities within the street, so we will have all underground electric, sewer, and water connections. And there was one comment from the fire department in the OpenGov portal relative to the existing hydrant. There is a hydrant located across the street on Summer Street, and he asked us to consider proposing one closer to this development. So we are proposing one in the northwest corner of the lot to provide that hydrant, so it'll be less than 100 feet from the proposed building. And that was the fire department's request. Other than that, they had no questions or concerns relative to this development. With respect to lighting, the existing auto dealership has several pole-style lighting. They are spotlights, and they are significant. We are proposing to remove all of those for this project. The only lighting that we'll have on the building is above the man doors, and then we will have wall pack lighting on the north, east, and south side of the building. There will be 2 wall packs on the front of the building, one on the easterly side, and then 2 on the southerly side. Those will all be shielded and downward facing in conformance with current dark sky compliance requirements. And we are not proposing any wall packs on the westerly side of the building because there are some residences adjacent to that property. So we are trying to be cognizant of that with respect to light intrusion. The proposed hours of operation, there is an office in the front left corner of the building, looking at the plan. So for office hours during the week, we're proposing in the neighborhood of 8 to 5 or 8 to 6 during weekdays, and then those would be reduced on the weekends. And then, however, there will be keypad access for the users of the facility, and we are proposing 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. for keypad access for people that are renting these storage units. But we are not proposing for this to be a 24-hour facility. And the last thing I'll mention, and it was already read into the record, but we have filed applications with the Conservation Commission and Planning Board. We are expected to appear before the Planning Board, Conservation Commission next week on the 19th, and Planning Board the following week on the 24th. So we are working through those application processes concurrently with this one. So with that, I'll be happy to take any questions.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
The entrance to that, for the people that are using the units, is in the front?
Correct.
Is that what I read?
Yes.
And once they're in the building, how do they go to the top floor?
So there's 2 stairways. There's one in the front right corner, and then there's one in the on the westerly side of the building as well.
Okay, so these storage would be more from residential homes? I mean, you wouldn't store cars or anything like
Oh,
that?
no, certainly not, no.
This is
Yep.
strictly smaller units?
Correct.
How many are on a floor?
So I do not know if there's a specific floor pattern. I expect there to be a variety of actual bay sizes. I think 10 to 15 is pretty common, or smaller for these types of units.
Okay,
10 to
and
15 feet square.
Thank you.
Yes.
One other thing I noticed, that the height in that district is like some of the others, is 55 feet.
Correct.
And you say you're not going to do anything yet on the, I'm not sure if this is Lunenburg, but it says greater than 55.
The proposed building height that we're proposing is 51 feet.
Okay, so it's 51?
Yeah, so we are under the 55-foot
Okay.
height. Yeah.
All right. I'll probably have a few more questions, but I'd like to open it up.
Where are the elevators, is that to bring the furniture and stuff like that up?
So as I mentioned, I'm not certain that there are final interior floor plans at this point. My assumption with any elevators that are proposed, they're typically in the center because they help hold the whole structural integrity together. So that's what I would imagine for that.
And is there sufficient room around for fire trucks to get all the way around the building?
So great question. That actually was a comment from the fire department. They noted that as well. However, they noted given this use, it's unlikely to have a life hazard where they would need full access around the building, just given the use of the property. So they stated that they did not have a concern relative to the only being able to access from the front of this building.
I did not completely hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Fire department did note that, and they said they had no concern relative to needing to access all the way around the building. They were comfortable with the access that we provided.
Thank you.
Lisa, we reach out to all the boards, and we've reached out. Did they send anything?
If there was a notation to the fire department, I didn't see it, but
Yeah, it was the 2 comments. One was relative to the access, which they were comfortable with, and the other was the fire hydrant that I mentioned that we are
Okay,
proposing.
so that's the reason you're adding the fire hydrant?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, that makes sense.
What's the material of construction? What are we building it out of?
So it'll be metal. There is a glass facade that you can see on these, well, hopefully you can see these architectural plans. I can pull them up on.
That's fine. I'm looking at it. So it's going to be all metal? Like, you know what I'm talking about? There's no brick involved?
None that I'm aware of, perhaps on the, for the facade on the outside, but I believe that's just cosmetic.
I'm looking at the plan here. It looks like it's bricks, but I could be, I mean, I'm just,
Yeah, I believe that's just cosmetic. I think it's a graphite or,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
that's fine.
Yep.
Just,
Any other questions?
no, I'm good, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Yeah, I think others have asked the questions I would have asked, so I don't have anything to ask.
Are there any windows in the upper levels?
Only on, if you can see this plan down here, so it'll be this corner of the building above the office. We have this accent piece here, so there will be lighting there. However, that will be on a timer and that will go off during non-operational hours. So at night, those will be turned off.
Okay, so otherwise, they'll all just be solid walls all the way around?
Correct, yep.
Okay. Just a question. What would you call that? Is that retail? Is that commercial? Is that a combination?
So I believe it's classified as self-storage in your bylaw. I would not say I wouldn't say retail. Perhaps warehouse would be an appropriate definition.
Now, I say retail because if they actually sold packing boxes and,
Right.
and all that stuff, that's retail. Yeah, what you're really doing is kind of commercial. And I'm just asking out of curiosity because the fact is that you are in the Summer Street Overlay District.
Okay.
And the mixed uses are allowed, residential, retail, commercial, light industrial.
Okay.
They're all allowed in that area. Another question, just curious too, is why do you come to the zoning board first for the use? Why wouldn't you come after the planning board?
Well, if the...
And I say that strongly
Yeah.
because part of what we look at is, some of the things it says in the overlay district is things like pursuing a village-style character, building a mixture of uses, all of that, achieve a village design, which, this is not. And I'm not saying it should be either.
Right.
I'm just curious why you come to us first for use.
I think the proposed use of a structure drives a lot of design factors relative to not only utilities, but also the site parking, especially some conservation impacts, especially with the floodplain, stormwater management. I think use drives a lot of those design considerations. So I think in a lot of cases, it's wise to come here first.
Okay. And also in that district, I know that there's a minimum of 10% that has to be open space. Is that all accounted for?
I believe we are in excess of the 10%. I'm happy to provide that. I don't know that number off the top of my head, but it does appear so based on that plan.
Okay. Any other question? Okay, and one more thing. I know that if you're on the street looking at the proposed building, to the
Yes.
right, there's the residential houses.
Correct.
Is there a plan for buffer zones? From the residentials?
There's...
I mean, I know you
Yeah.
can't buffer a 40
Right, yeah.
story
Yeah,
building.
that'd be a tall fence.
Reasonable.
So we don't have any landscaping proposed at this time. There will be green space along that entire property line that's currently pavement. At this time, there is a chain link fence that runs approximately around the property line. I realize that's not screening, but landscaping, I expect, would be one of the items that's discussed during the planning board process. That's something that comes up always.
Okay. All right. That's really all I had. Okay, any other questions from the board?
Would it be prudent to ask to table this meeting until after the planning board has met?
I think the way that, simply because it's a use, the rest of it, he says they're not affecting any of our any setbacks.
Right.
Front. They got plenty of frontage.
Right.
Yeah,
And I think we could do that, but I don't know. If you had anything that, you went 56 on the height,
Right.
you would have to come back here.
Yeah, that would be a separate application for dimensional
Yeah,
variation.
if you had anything that, should be before us, you have to come back.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Any other questions?
Nothing going on there now.
Hmm?
Nothing going on there now.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'll accept the motion.
I make a motion to allow self-store real estate company to construct a 26,135 square foot building at the site located on 30 Summer Street in Lunenburg, Mass.
Yeah, okay.
Is that good?
Yeah, you just say it's for use.
For use?
Yeah, it's good. And second,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
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 And aye. Okay, I've got a little more reading to do. It has been approved. The special permit is granted with the contingency that the petitioner complies with all licenses, regulations, statutes, ordinances, and any inapplicable local, state, federal boards or agencies with jurisdiction over the premises. The special permit is subject to periodic review by the permit granting authority or the enforcement officer to ensure compliance with any conditions. Non-compliance of such conditions may result in a revocation of the permit. Copy of the board's decision shall be filed with the town clerk within 14 days. Any party aggrieved by the board's decision may appeal to Superior Court 20 days after the decision is filed. After certification by the town clerk that 20 days have elapsed since the decision was filed, you should have it recorded in the Registry of Deeds. No special permit shall take effect until it has been recorded, and a special permit shall lapse within 2 years unless substantial use of construction is commenced. And one more note, I didn't call for public discussion because there is no public here.
Great, thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
If there's no other information or anything else to come before the board, I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. With that, this hearing is closed.